Curtis, good to see how you do. How you been? Colin, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? How you been? Denise, good to see you as well. Evening. How you doing? How you been? How you doing, Miles? I'm doing great. Theos, how you doing? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? You think we hit a bottom yesterday? Bottom? Or we hit the bottom on the market yesterday? Well, we still do have some more news coming up this month. Quite a lot of news, actually, to be fairly honest. That's going to make the market go absolutely wild. With the UN speeches, not the UN, sorry, and the US House speeches especially. Or more downside coming. Well, let's see what the news is going to be as we go along, which is going to be a very good indicator for us of where this market is headed. The end road is always going to be positive. But let's see. So we'll do a gist of what we're going to be talking about on tonight's live show. And at that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part after we do the gist, and then we do the intro, disclaimer. By that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part. Okay, on tonight's live show, we are going to be going through, believe it or not, I have 69 pages of notes to go through. 69 pages of notes to go through on tonight's live show. As you can see, let's just keep on going, of everything we're going to be talking about on tonight's live show. So it's about 69 pages to go. Hence why we started on time, perfectly. So on tonight's live show, we're going to be discussing Cardano. We're going to be discussing Cardano as a matter of this new upgrade that's happened with Cardano. Also, we're going to discuss the matters of Cardano's founder having a little bit of a dispute with Bitcoin community. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Look Now, essentially launching a blockchain center of excellence, UP. So we know for a fact that essentially Dubai has launched this entire blockchain center. That's not just an event, but it's going to stay in Dubai forever, this blockchain center. India has decided to copy the exact idea and create a blockchain center within India as well. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Nigeria, essentially integrating AI technology into their airport systems to find out criminals much more easier with AI-related software. We're also on the topic of Nigeria. We're going to be also talking about the Binance situation with Nigeria and so far how's it going and has anybody got involved in this matter. We're also going to talk about Ethereum layer 1s on tonight's live show as well, how the network revenue for Ethereum layer 1s has pretty much collapsed. Minus essentially 99% collapse is happening on Ethereum in terms of layer 1 revenues. We're also going to talk about Brazil and the X situation as well. Update has just came out today. We're also going to go through the news topic on regarding staking rewards. That's an event that's going to be happening very soon. So staking rewards to host the world's largest staking summit coming up in Thailand. We're also going to, many CEOs and executive and board members from all types of companies are going to be attending this. And staking is a major part of the crypto community. We're also going to talk about a perspective coming from the Black Swan, essentially, author, who's talked about Elon Musk, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and XRP having some sort of a tie together. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Metaplanet, which the Japanese company that essentially followed the exact blueprints of Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategy. They've just partnered with SBI VC Trade for Bitcoin management. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding another country launching into the whole Telegram investigation scenario. So it turns out there's more than one country right now looking into Telegram's situation, and they're actually linking up together. And I also have an update of what the Telegram founder has decided to do. And I laid out a few outcomes, essentially what he can choose, which is either cooperate or go against the system. So I'll let you know once we get to that news. We're also going to talk about on tonight's live show regarding the Ripple chief legal officer, how he's slamming the SEC for using the words crypto asset securities. And he said that stop trying to deceive judges, Gary Gensler. There's no such thing as a sentence or a word for crypto asset securities. You're just making up words as you go along. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding the Japanese crypto taxing situation, because the Japanese tax essential rules and regulations were supposed to be introduced around 2030 or 2028 or 2027. And I've always said they're lying to, and it's much more sooner in terms of regulations. It turns out Japan is going to be launching their rules and regulations for taxation purposes next year, 2025. They went from the 2029, which they were predicting, or 2027, 2028, 2026, to 2025. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding how crypto is dominating the biggest 2024 ETF launches so far, according to some actual data. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding decentralized inheritance, which is a big part of the also what most people want to know is, how can I leave my cryptocurrencies behind for my family members? How can they inherit it? How does that work? So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well, because one major company has just came out of nowhere to fix this issue, and they've actually partnered with Trust Wallets. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Network International and Zandbank partnering to enhance fintech services in the United Arab Emirates. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding the Federal Reserve in terms of rate cuts and do more. So the topic for rate cuts is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good for cryptocurrencies? Is it going to be bad for Wall Street and then good for cryptocurrencies? How is that going to work out? So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well from a perspective. We're also going to go through the news topic of OKX Exchange on tonight's live show as well, how OKX Exchange has received regulatory approval in Singapore. So quite a mixture of news to go from tonight's live show. Quite a lot of corporate news that's happening around the world that nobody's talking about outside of crypto space, which we are about to go through on tonight's live show. Now, the first news we are going to be talking about is regarding Cardano and a little bit of a dispute that's going on with the Bitcoin analyst community. And before we start off this live show, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, on this live show, I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. And we also do live Q&As as well, which means you can get involved inside the comment section. We are live right now, as usual, on YouTube and on X at the exact same time. The disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and what advice is only for entertainment purposes. So welcome to the CMF live show. If you are new, and if you're regular, let's go CMF. Now, before we go for the first news regarding Cardano, we're going to go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were inside the comment section. Hi, Miles. Pablo, good to see you. How you doing? Evening, Miles and family. Ian, good to see you. How you doing? What up, Miles and family? Happy Saturday. Let's go. How you doing, Ray? Hi, Miles and family. Troy, good to see you. How you doing? Hello, Miles and CMF. Good to see you. Lena, how you doing? My X account has been locked out. Not sure why. Lena, you could just probably log back in. You would have to do some sort of a security check before you could log back in your X. That happened to me a while ago as well. Evening, Miles and CMF. Joe, good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Orphan, good to see you. How you doing? So, first news on tonight's live show is regarding Cardano and Bitcoin. JP, hi Miles, how you doing? Glad to see me. I'm always glad to see you, brother. How you doing, JP? How you been? By the way, thank you so much to everyone that's been retweeting this live show right at the beginning of the live show on X and liking this live show. And thanks so much to everyone on YouTube that's also been liking the live show as well. Even Miles on CMF. Joe, good to see you. How you doing, Joe? How you been? Now, first news. Joe, perfect timing. First news on tonight's live show. Tor Demister slams Cardano founder as a classic projection. So Cardano's founder has been having a little bit of a slight dispute with the whole Bitcoin space. Now, Tor Demister, one of the most vocal Bitcoin prominents, recently took a jab at Cardano's founder after essentially the latter's of comments triggered strong backlash within the community behind the largest cryptocurrency. In a recent video, which has gained traction on social media, Cardano's founder spoke not very well about Bitcoin, arguing that the industry does not actually need Bitcoin. He predicted that another digital gold could emerge in the future, and it could even be more secure than Bitcoin itself. The Cardano founder also drew parallels between Bitcoin and Windows, which failed to catch up with the adoption rates of iOS and Android. While the largest cryptocurrency might not lose wallet share, it could lose its essentially attention and innovation. The Cardano founder predicted that Bitcoin could end up dying a very slow death if it refuses to innovate. Is Cardano fading into irrelevance? However, Demister pointed out the fact that Cardano's dominance had declined dramatically over the past 3 years. In fact, it went from 10% of Bitcoin's market cap to tiny 1%. of the period of that time. Cardano has once again dropped out of the CoinMarketCap top 10 after previously being amongst the cryptocurrencies alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as of today, Cardano is also down a staggering 89.2% from its record peak that was achieved back in September 2021. So Cardano's founder made some interesting, essentially, allegations or points from perspective of his. And as a rebuttal, people decided to say Cardano is a very bad project. It's never been great. And the reason why Cardano's founder is saying these things about Bitcoin is because, his own project is not doing too well. That's not really a rebuttal. What they should have done was answer these questions. So him stating the fact that Bitcoin needs to innovate or it's going to fall behind, it's not, saying it out of spite. He's not against Bitcoin. It's true. If Bitcoin doesn't innovate correctly, then it's definitely going to fall behind. It's just how technology works. It needs to get better every second, is what I've always said, for it to be able to catch up. Now, he's parallel between Bitcoin and Windows, and then Android and Apple on the other side. Makes also sense up to a certain extent. Look, there are multiple companies out there that are trying to build on Bitcoin. They've tried multiple ways with the Lightning Network, for example, which didn't really work out too well, or creating NFTs on Bitcoin's blockchain, which also didn't really help the Bitcoin network either because it made it more slow and expensive. Now, his viewpoint on this is coming from Cardano's founder, that something else is going to come that's going to be more valuable than Bitcoin in the blockchain space, is what Cardano's founder said. Now, he didn't say his own project, because it's definitely not going to be Cardano. Even though Cardano is not a terrible project, there are much more terrible projects than Cardano out there. But Cardano's founder didn't specifically say which crypto project is going to come along and be better than Bitcoin in terms of value and everything else. But I also believe in that as well. It's not just what I believe in it. It's just how technology works. There will always be something better, especially in the space of technology. There's always going to be something better. So this ideology of Bitcoin is always going to remain number one no matter what is a lot of BS. Because no company or no technology, forget about company, no piece of technology remains number one. It will always be overtaken. That's just how it works in the space of tech. So I believe in his viewpoint of something somewhere down the line will take over Bitcoin space. It's just how technology works. And if people are out there that are saying, no, nothing will overtake Bitcoin, then you don't understand the world of technology, because it needs to get better every second or it falls behind. That's just how it works in tech. We've come a long way in terms of technology. So that should be an indication for you that anything can happen. Now, on the topic of Cardano, meet Cardano's new decentralized governance, Volataire. Cardano has officially moved into its next phase of Volataire era, with the Chang hard fork taking place. The upgrade is all about governance, giving more power to adder holders and letting them take charge of decisions that affect the entire network. A part of the transaction fee goes into a treasury, which essentially funds the projects to get the green light from the community. Volataire is the last piece of Cardano's roadmap puzzle. First up, the consultation committee, CC, will serve the temporarily governing body. They're like a babysitter, keeping things in check until the community is ready to take over fully. Then there are delegates, representatives, D-reps, elected by adder holders to voice their opinions on the network governance. And let's not forget the stake pool operators as well, the SPOs, who have a role in making sure everybody's interests are essentially represented. The upgrade rolls in two stages. Phase one, which is kicked off with Chang upgrade, is all about setting the stage. D-reps can start signing up and gathering support to represent adder holders. During this phase, the intermediate committee keeps an eye on things, while the last around 90 days after that, phase two, the real action starts on Cardano. Power goes to D-reps and SPOs, who essentially will make all the decisions on the big ticket items like constitution amendments and other crucial governance issues. One more of a dramatic aspect in this transition is the burning of the Genesis key from the Shelley era. For those not in the know, these keys are basically what gives the founders control over the network. The community has already started getting involved. Just a day after the Chang upgrade, about 45 D-reps have thrown in their hats in the ring as well, but not essentially everyone is throwing their party at just this change. The market reaction has been a bit downer. After the upgrade, adder price took a hit, dropping about over 4%. Short this dip is minor, some broader market trends, but this reminder is not all innovations immediately win over investors. Others market cap took a knock, pushing it to below the top 10. Now, on the topic of Cardano, is it a great project? Look, my point of view, there are better projects than Cardano out there, without a doubt. But what they've just introduced does make it a lot more decentralized than it ever was before, which is something that Ethereum can't say, apparently, to their founders. I mean, the people that operate on Ethereum's chain. Now, and again, I'm not saying Cardano is better than Ethereum in any sort of way either. Now, the next news topic to go for on tonight's live show is, well, if you're in Cardano, they are doing massive upgrades on the chain. The next topic on tonight's live show is something that happened in Dubai. So a while ago, Dubai launched the Blockchain Center, which is not an event that happens every year, but it's an actual place where it's called the Blockchain Center. It's a Web3 center that's going to stay in Dubai forever, where everybody can go there and essentially meet other business partners, potential business partners, discuss Web3 and blockchain. If you are new to the space, you can learn about blockchain. You can go there anytime you want. It's called the Blockchain Center. So India has decided to copy this, essentially this method, and decided to launch their own very own Blockchain Center. We're going to go through that news topic, but before we go through that, let's go start the conversation first. Hey, Miles, how you doing? Daniel, I'm doing great. How you doing? Jason, evening, Miles CMF. Good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Miles CMF. Free Feather. Good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Dr. Miles and the rest of the CMF family. Have I missed anything? Just 2 pieces of news before that. I think that's a fair point. Yeah, definitely. He's talking about XRP. Let's go longer. If it's not XRP, then it's definitely ETH, as all the stable coins are built on ETH's blockchain. AI is moving up very fast on the outside, Miles. It definitely is, yes, without a doubt. That's why the arrested Telegram founder, they think Ton will grow too much and challenges BTC and Ethereum. That's facts as well. Ton, as I said previously, was climbing the ladder incredibly quick. So they decided to stifle Ton by going for the founder of Telegram, because Ton was developed by Telegram originally, then dropped because they were about to be sued by the SEC. So remember this, Ton was going to be sued by the SEC. Just remember this one thing. When Telegram was developing Ton, the SEC wanted to sue Telegram for developing Ton as a security project. So Telegram dropped the project, because we're going to have another, Ripple situation with Telegram going on with Ton. So Telegram drops Ton, and then they pick up Ton as a partner instead with some random developers. And then now this happens where they're stifling Ton. So they couldn't sue it. Instead, they're going for the founder of the company. Good evening, everyone. XRP, good to see you. How you doing? So a while ago, they were trying to stifle Ton's innovation, but they couldn't get the chance to do it. And then Ton goes into the top 10, and then, coincidentally, when Ton reaches top 10, Telegram's founder gets arrested. Now, IMM, Lucknow. So Lucknow launches Blockchain Center of Excellence in UP. The Indian Institution of Management, Lucknow essentially Enterprise Center, IIML-ECI, has announced the establishment of a Center of Excellence in Blockchain Technology, with support from the government, the Uttar Pradesh, under the Starting Policy. This initiative is designed to foster innovation entrepreneurship by nurturing 100 blockchain startups over the next 5 years. 100 blockchain startups are going to be coming out of India. Now, the COEBT aims to promote advancements in blockchain technology, aligning with the state government's goals to enhance e-governance through increased trust, transparency, and reliability across various sectors. The sector will also act as a catalyst for technological innovation, providing startups with crucial resources and support. Professor Adish, facilitator in charge at the IIML-EIC, emphasized the importance of collaboration with Microsoft India, which will play a pivotal role in identifying new opportunities and supporting innovation within the blockchain sector. This partnership is expected to help startups stay ahead in the rapidly evolving blockchain landscape. The COEBT will offer a range of support services, including mentorship, access to guidance from over 50 industry academic experts, industry connections, networking opportunities with key players inside the blockchain space, venture capital funding, financial support to help startups scale their operations, specialized training programs for students and aspiring entrepreneurs to build expertise in blockchain operations. In addition to this central operation, the COEBT will establish 3 outreach centers in 3 other cities in India. These centers will work to promote the nurturing blockchain-based innovations across the Uttar Pradesh, contributing to the robust ecosystem for emerging technologies. Overall, the Center of Excellence in Blockchain Technology will serve as a significant resource and technology development hub aimed at advancing Uttar Pradesh's technological capabilities and fostering a thriving blockchain ecosystem. So, with Dubai launching the whole blockchain center a few weeks ago, which was an incredible milestone coming out of essentially Dubai, launching a blockchain center where people could go learn about Web3 and also get funding for their essentially startup companies that are related to Web3 or blockchain technology. India has decided to copy the exact same concept, but they're launching in 3 different places, which all of these are just signs of confidence shown to essentially blockchain cryptocurrencies and how far we've come from not being recognized to ultimately being extremely recognized. Now, Nigeria is what we're going to talk about next. Moving on from India. Nigeria's FAAN explores AI solutions to enhance airport security. Nigeria is pretty much going to be the first country in the world to start utilizing AI technology in every part of their airport securities. This could be like, a playing ground for other countries to find out how AI will evolve and actually be used in airport scenes. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, plans to deploy artificial intelligence AI systems to control airport access. The move is a part of the government's effort to boost security at the nation's airports. According to the FAAN Director of Security Services, the equipment will further tighten airport security by identifying potential criminals and enabling essentially law enforcement to neutralize them on time. Apparently, the AI system that Nigeria is going to be launching at airports is most likely going to be launched in other airports around the world as well. But it's first going to be launching in Nigeria as a test ground. So this AI system is capable of finding out if you are doing some sort of criminal activities at a very fast rate and alert the authorities. So you don't need essentially security people walking around 24/7 in airports, making sure nobody's doing something they're not supposed to. There are going to be AI cameras everywhere that can assess if someone's about to do something bad or has already done it, and it will alert the authorities straight away. He admitted that security is one of the authorities' major concerns in the airport. FAAN considers AI systems for tighter airport security. The reports disclose that the plans to use AI for airport security is still in proposal consideration stages and involves the ministers of aviation and aerospace developments. Thus, the FAN is currently essentially evaluating multiple proposals and has not made a final decision. Although there is no official information on what the AI system would, essentially more than what essentially they've announced will do, the director said the security system would be one that can monitor movements in and around the airports and quickly alert authorities to potential dangers. He said, "We are going to do an access control, and the access control will work with artificial intelligence systems, whereby even if somebody is coming into the airport, there is a way the camera can be fixed to you. If any weapons with you, if you have anything that is with you, the AI will detect it and immediately send a signal to a command center." The decision to deploy AI follows the recent security audits of Nigerian airports by the International Civil Aviation Organization, the ICAO. The ICAO identified several concerns with this airport, also acknowledged that he noted that unauthorized access is the biggest challenge, and this happens due to the damage to the airport fences and a lack of deterrent measures against offenders. Interest in AI use cases is growing in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the move represents another instance of government agencies in Nigeria tapping into AI to address challenges within its operations. In February, the Nigerian Directorate of Road Transport Services said it will use AI to address roadblocks and road traffic concerns. The Nigerian government has been particularly keen on AI and its potential use cases. Earlier this year, authorities organized a national artificial intelligence strategy workshop. Since then, it has made other moves, including launching AI training initiative, relaunching a national center for AI robotics, and even tapping into local startups to develop a large language model, LLM. Interest in AI also extends to the country's residents. A recent report from Google shows that more people than ever search for AI-related topics. Search related to AI increased by 130% year on year, and the country now ranks 6th in AI-related searches in Africa, 25th in the world. Nigeria is ranking 25th in the world in terms of people searching for AI, essentially going for AI projects, is ranking 25th in the world, and 6th essentially on Google's search rankings. However, there are concerns about whether the country can truly tap the potential of artificial intelligence. Some experts note that the country's infrastructure deficient could make it difficult for residents to optimally enjoy the benefits of the emerging technology. But Nigeria is being used as a playground for other countries right now in terms of their AI technology usage in airports. But this is something that's going to be released in other airports around the world, where AI cameras are going to be set up everywhere. And the moment you walk into an airport, the AI camera is going to be on you pretty much on a 24/7 basis until you get onto your flight, where the AI camera can detect if you're about to do some illicit activities and straight away alert the authorities. So you'll probably see, as we go along more into these years, a lot more less airport security, because they're all just going to be taken over by AI technology. Now, EFCC opposes bail on the topic of on the topic of Nigeria. EFCC opposes bail as detained Binance executive seeks medical care in Nigerian money laundering trial. So there's a Binance executive, there's a Binance member that's still stuck in Nigeria. Nigeria invited 2 Binance executives, Binance board members, you can say, to talk about Binance and Web3 technology and so on. When they arrived at the airport, both of them got arrested. One of them went to prayer and escaped. When he asked the guards, "Can I go in prayer?" They said yes, and he escaped. The other one's still stuck. So Binance has asked the US authorities to get involved. They've been asking US authorities for a while now to get involved. And it's not making headlines either. And the US authorities apparently don't care that there's a Binance member that's stuck with a US passport, stuck inside of Nigeria. They couldn't care less, which is very, very odd for the US, because the US always makes it a big deal to get people that are stuck in other countries out of the country no matter what. I mean, if you go back, there was the basketball player that was stuck in Russia, where she essentially carried a vape into Russia, knowing that there was some sort of medication of vapes that you're not supposed to be carrying these kind of items, and she got arrested. And then Biden made a swap for her with the mercenary person that was from Russia as a swap prisoner. But then they're doing nothing for the Binance member that's stuck in Nigeria. They couldn't care less. The trial of Binance executive Tigran continued in Abuja on September 2nd. So today was the trial for him today, with the Nigerian prosecutors arguing against his request for a bail and minimizing his health issues. Lawyers for the Nigerian EFCC argued that this member was not in poor health. The Binance member is not in poor health, even though the Government Regulators Council submitted health records to the courts showing he needed surgery. The Binance member right now, stuck in Nigerian prison for no apparent reason, needs extreme medical care. He needs a surgery. Doctors have said that this man needs a surgery, but the Nigerian authorities are saying, no, he doesn't. EFCC counters executive bail. The trial of Tigran, a Binance executive detained in Nigeria, resumed on September 2nd, today, 2024. His lawyers submitted a new bail request due to his worsening health conditions. However, Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, quickly countered this motion, claiming that he was not ill in any sort of a way, and even though his health records presented by the government regulators showed he needed surgery. Family representatives mentioned that his health records were essentially, which had not been provided to the courts for months, were missing important medical information such as his MRI scans. Family spokespersons also said that the lawyers of the Binance executive have either been barred from the prison or unable to see him due to his decline in health. According to a family statement, the Binance executive entered the courts in a disheveled state using crutches after being essentially denied access to a wheelchair in Nigeria. The wife of the Binance executive voiced significant worry about the Nigerian authorities downplaying her husband's health issues. She said the truth is that the prison has been withheld his medical records for months, and even the partial records they finally released today say that Tigran needs surgery. They cannot keep playing games with the husband's life like this. This entire situation is inhumane and degrading, and I am fed up that there are must be consequences for this disregard of law and human rights. The next session of his trial is scheduled for September 4th, 2024, where the judge will further hear on the bail motion. Binance CEO calls for US intervene. The Binance CEO has asked the US government multiple times to get involved and help this Binance executive member stuck in a Nigerian prison for no apparent reason. The Nigerian authorities have detained this man for over 6 months. Since he has arrived in the country in February, The former, essentially, Binance executive, the former IRS agent, and his colleagues were arrested on charges of money laundering and tax evasion, which is untrue with no evidence. After that, he managed to escape. Nigerian officials tightened restrictions on the other person because one person, those two people from Binance executives that were arrested, one of them escaped. The other one, they held them back somewhere, and now he needs medical care. He needs a surgery. Doctors have said he needs a surgery. So they tighten restrictions on the last person they have in their hands, who is now dealing with health issues like malaria and tonsillitis and also requires surgery. Binance CEO Richard Tang has urged US authorities to intervene in diplomatic issues with Nigeria to help secure this man's release. Richard Tang also highlighted that the Binance executive does not hold a decision-making role at Binance and should not be targeted for allegations against the company, which is true. This particular member of Binance executive board member has no relations to the finance department of Binance in any sort of way. This is more like a hostage situation. Pro-crypto policymakers representatives French Hill has also urged the White House to step in regarding the Binance case. After visiting the detained executive with fellow legislator Chrissy in June, Rep. Hill identified the situation as a political conflict in Nigeria and called for the release of the Binance executive. As demands for the Binance executive release grows, Georgia Congressman Rich has also introduced a solution urging his colleagues to treat the detention of this Binance executive as an American citizen as a hostage situation in Nigeria. So the Nigerian situation of Binance executive has just turned into a hostage situation, according to 3 congressmen and Binance themselves. And still, the US does not want to get involved. The White House does not want to get involved into a political situation of Nigeria in any sort of a way. But, essentially, Sleepy Joe was very open to swapping a basketball player for a mercenary of Russia. That was perfectly fine, swapping a basketball player, getting a basketball player back from Russia, giving out a mercenary of of all weapons. That was perfectly fine. But getting a Binance executive member out of essentially a US Binance executive member out of Nigerian prison that he has committed 0 crimes on, US is not interested. Congressmen are trying to bring this issue up now, but the US is not interested, not even one bit. But it seems like the US is not interested at all in lots of situations. Even that situation that's going on in the US right now with the apartment buildings, with the Venezuelan members that have essentially the GANG members who have taken over those apartment blocks within the United States. The US authorities don't care about that either. Honestly, why have a police department when they don't do work? How does that make sense? So, moving on from that topic in general, with the US just not caring about any safety type of issues whatsoever for their citizens. Going into this, Ethereum Layer 1 network revenue collapses. What's causing it? So apparently there's a major collapse situation happening on Ethereum Layer 1 networks. I'm going to go through that next, but before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. By the way, this is a live show, so get involved inside the comment section. That's why they've arrested Telegram. Yeah. BullXRP, good to see you. How you doing? Evening. Hi, Miles the CMF. George, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Happy Pisces. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Hi, Miles. Why is it taking long for price action? There's 3 UN meetings, US House meetings coming up. So, and the rates are coming up as well. Let's see how those goes. How are you doing, Miles? How are you? How was your day? Day great. I'm doing great. Callie, how have you been? How you doing? How you been? Let's see where we were. Do we know where the other guy is escaped? No. He's run for his life. If Trump was in office, this would have never happened, which is also facts. If Trump was in office, this would have definitely never happened. Hi, Miles the CMF. Stormy, good to see you. How you doing? Or prisoner plus 6 billion to Iran, or Biden giving 6 prisoners back to Iran and getting 6 prisoners from Iran and then giving billions on top to Iran. That's perfectly fine for Sleepy Joe and his administration. Mike, good evening, Miles the CMF. Good to see you. How you doing, Mike? How you been? Shelly, good to see you. How you doing? Morning. How you been? Now, Ethereum. Ethereum Layer 1 network revenue collapses. What's causing it? Ethereum Layer 1 network revenue has plummeted by 99%. 99% plummet from the revenues of Layer 1 networks on Ethereum. Since March 2024, despite a dramatic increase in Layer 2 monthly users and Layer 2 daily transaction costs, according to data from Token Terminal Network fees, it hits their highest levels for a year on March 5, 2024 at $35.5 million. The decon upgrade, which essentially significantly reduced fees for Ethereum's Layer 2 transactions, went live on March 13, 2024. Following the upgrade network, fees steadily declined, with fees essentially on August 31st hitting a low of $566,000 and marginally increased to $578,000 on September 2nd, 2024. Too many Layer 2s. The sharp reduction on Ethereum Layer 2 fees following the decon upgrade sparked an explosive essentially in terms of competing on Layer 2 scaling solutions. According to L2Beat, there are currently 74 Ethereum Layer 2 scaling projects listed on 21 Layer 3 projects. Adrian Brink, the CEO of Omo, argues that the number of Layer 2 solutions currently built on top of Ethereum network vastly outweighs what the market requires. Brick estimates that there are roughly 10 times the number of Layer 2 scaling solutions that the industry needs. This is highly competitive environment has encouraged a race to the bottom, with rival Layer 2s vying essentially to offer the lowest transaction fees to customers. The resulting competition has drawn users away from settling directly on the Ethereum-based layer and acts as a self-reinforcing mechanism that further reduces the fees on the network. Low fees create inflationary supply pressures. The lowered transaction costs introduced by decon offset the deflationary pressure introduced by the EIP 1559, and Ethereum improved a proposal that introduced a mechanism burning proportion of fees on the network. This dramatic reduction in fees translates into lower demand for Ethereum, the currency required to pay for transaction fees over the network. As a result, the supply of ETH has been going steadily since the decon upgrade went live. Historically low transaction costs on Ethereum and the corresponding lack of demand acted as a drive that pushed the price of ETH below 3,000 level. So apparently Ethereum is having difficulties on earning revenue on their layer ones. It's plummeted by 99% so far since that decon upgrade has happened. The good side is the fees are starting to low on Ethereum, but the upgrade situation has damaged the fees of people who are essentially operating the nodes. Now, moving on from the Ethereum situation to the Brazil and X situation, because today we just received an update from the courts in Brazil. Brazil Supreme Court upholds judge's decision to suspend Elon Musk X. Other judges within Brazil has just essentially come together as a group collectively and said, nope, this particular judge that has essentially blocked X from the country is correct. Every judge in Brazil is pretty much on board with X being fully suspended inside of Brazil. A Brazilian Supreme Court panel has upheld a decision from one of its justices to suspend operations of social media platform X in the country today. In a unanimous decision today, a panel of 5 Supreme Court justices upheld justices which Alexandra put forward on August 13th, ruling suspending X in Brazil. Morris' decision followed by X owner Elon Musk's refusal to name a legal representative for the firm's operations in Brazil. In the months before Morris' decision, Musk heavily criticized the Supreme Court judge on X, claiming he was evil and a dictator for his alleged illegal political censorships of the social media platform. It's unclear how X, the owner, may respond to the court ruling now that 4 of the other justices agreed with Morris's rulings. Morris had been investigating X for allowing and promoting misinformation related to former Brazilian President Jair. Now, since essentially Elon Musk's takeover of the company, then before it was called Twitter, in October 2022, many companies have pulled advertisings after reports of pro-situations content appearing alongside all ads. According to Morris' decision, X will remain suspended in Brazil until the company pays their outstanding fines totaling more than $3 million as of August 30th. Brazilian residents and companies using virtual private networks, VPNs, to access the site could also face up to fines up to 50,000 in terms of Brazilian currencies, which is roughly about $8,900. So today, the rest of the judges inside of Brazil, the other panels, essentially the other high-profile judges, have just ruled also unanimously together that X is going to be indefinite banned in Brazil pretty much forever. until Elon Musk starts censoring Brazilian government information on X. Which, I mean, freedom of speech, non-existent at all. And there are people supporting this, which, people aren't very intelligent. The majority of people are not very intelligent. Anybody that rejects freedom of speech is a moron. There's no way around it. And the Brazilian authorities want somebody in Brazil, that's a ex-censorship man, so that the Brazilian government can tell what can be shown on X and what can't be shown on X. So then X essentially becomes like CNBC, where CNBC is told what to say, or BBC, or any other news channel. Do you know how the news is controlled on what they can and can't say and show, and who they're always supposed to support and who they're always supposed to go against? Is what they want to happen on X. So it just becomes a factory of government propaganda misinformation. Whereas right now, X is freedom of speech, say whatever you want. If you don't agree with something, say it loud, essentially, on X. But no, Brazil doesn't like the idea of freedom of speech. They want people to be, not be able to speak out loudly, to voice their opinions or their reasonings. Now, moving away from the Brazil situation, because it seems like X is pretty much not going to be operating in Brazil after that unanimous vote today. Staking rewards. Staking rewards to host the world's largest staking summit in Bangkok in November 8th and 9th. Staking is a huge part of the crypto space. It's how you can earn additional income on your cryptocurrencies. So the biggest staking event is about to be held around the whole world. Crypto Staking Explorer Staking Rewards has announced its international staking conference. It's returning to its third consecutive year. The two-day summit will be hosted in Bangkok, Thailand from November 8th, uniting key participants in the global staking industry to provide insights and innovations that will shape the future of POS. Set to be hosted by Simul, the hotel in Bangkok, the 2024 Staking Summit promises to be the largest event of its kind. Of course, the 2 days, essentially, delegates will hear keynote panel discussions, fireside chats, and participations in workshops that illuminate the latest industry developments across multi-chain landscapes. Topics such as Bitcoin staking, restaking, LST5, validators, home staking, and emerging POS chains will be among the themes for the debate during the conference. That covers every aspect of multi-billion-dollar staking industry. 2024 Staking Summit will give particular focus to the new proof of staking networks and opportunities they present for integration of existing staking infrastructures. This is what was announced. Staking Rewards CEO said, "Since our last 12 months ago, the staking landscape has undergone rapid growth and is now in the front lines for much of an innovation occurring in the crypto today. At the third annual Staking Summit, we'll reflect on how far the industry has come, but mostly we'll look to the future as our experts, sponsors, and delegators give and take on their catalysts that will drive the staking sector forwards into 2025 and beyond. Validators and home stakers have opportunities to purchase discounted tickets for the conference that's happening, which is expected to attract hundreds of industry figures from around the world. Crypto payments are accepted with general ticket grantings, access to all event stages, workshops, and networking apps. Catering, merchandise, and closing parties as well. VIP ticket holders, meanwhile, will enjoy exclusive access to all side events, private meeting rooms, and the welcome dinner with speakers, sponsors, and media partners. More than 40 sponsors have been confirmed for the event so far, headlined by names such as Coinbase is going to be headlining this event, Babylon, Lido, A41, Puffer, and Trees. Many of these sponsors are returning for their third consecutive year, demonstrating for their reputation in terms of Staking Summit has assured. Through lending support to conferences, these sponsors aim to drive the growth of staking industries while spearheading innovation, community collaboration, and sharing of the best practices. Discussions will also center on expected upticks in institutional participation in the coming years, with the goal of developing the infrastructure that will allow capital to flow into staking industries. About Staking Summit 2024. Hosted by Staking Rewards and backed by 40-plus sponsors, the Staking Summit welcomes hundreds of delegates to Bangkok for 2 days of talks, discussions, and side events. The event will help to shape the future of staking and unite POS, proof of staking protocols, validators, and investors to network and exchange ideas that will help accelerate the growth of proof of staking in the world's biggest staking summit to ever happen. Massive on that topic. If you are, in Thailand or traveling to Bangkok, Thailand, and you're in Web3 and blockchain, you want to know more about staking, then I would suggest go to that event, because they're going to be they have 40+ sponsors, and one of them is Coinbase, and some other big names are going to be there as well. So if you're in Thailand and you're watching this live show right now, attend that essentially event and see how it goes. Now, moving on from the Thailand staking event to Elon Musk, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and XRP. So before I tell you this news, let's go inside the comment section first. It's a perspective news, but let's go inside the comment section first. Not my perspective, another perspective, but I'll tell you. Let's see where we were inside the comment section. We were at, if you and me are talking on the phone and we do illegal activities and the phone company is responsible for the illegal activities, same thing for those platforms. Also facts, yeah. Is true, BRICS will start using XRP in December. Speculation. Manny, good to see you as well. Evening, Miles and CMF. How you doing? How you been? Good to see you, Manny. Now, actually, based on your question as well, MQ. So MQ just asked inside the comment section. Perfect timing, I would have to say, on your question. I'll be honest, because MQ essentially asked, is it true that BRICS will start using XRP in December? He's essentially basing it on the BRICS situation. So, are Elon Musk, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank setting stage for XRP, the global financial system? Now, this is the news, a perspective coming from, I'll tell you who it is. XRP is a prominent subject of discourse in the global cross-border and payment solutions. The coin is linked to Ripple Labs' ecosystem, which has a rich payment solution record. With its growing popularity, XRP is now linked with Tesla CEO Elon Musk. The International Monetary Fund, that's true, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, that's also true as well. The Elon Musk part is speculation, but as the result, there is growing debate in the crypto community concerning XRP's future, role in global finance. Elon Musk's connection to Ripple. Over the weekend, Versen, the founder of Black Swan Capitalist, pointed out that Elon Musk's involvement with Ripple Labs Inc., the founder noted on X on a post that Elon Musk's connection to Ripple is a part of a larger narrative that includes XRP in the new financial system. So this is a perspective coming from the Black Swan Capitalist, the founder of the Black Swan Capitalist. So Elon Musk's connection to Ripple is no secret. This is what he tweeted out. Elon Musk's connection to Ripple is no secret. It's always been a part of the larger narrative. Remember, Elon and Peter backed OneCoin, rebranded to OpenCoin, and then Ripple under Chris Lawson guidance. It is true. Originally, Ripple was called OneCoin, and then very quickly, rebranded to OpenCoin, and then rebranded to Ripple Labs, and then now it's just called Ripple. They're just setting the stage for XRP in the new financial system. He noted that Elon Musk's relationship with Ripple is no secret. He recalled a time when Elon Musk and Peter once supported OneCoin. According to him, this was shortly before OneCoin rebranded to essentially OpenCoin and later rebranded under the leadership of Chris Lawson to Ripple. The founder's recent disclosure comes only shortly after the crypto-friendly lawyer Fred made essentially a bold proposal to Elon Musk, notably recently urged Elon Musk to consider integrating XRP into his X payments platform. The suggestion could mark a major transformation for XRP. It comes shortly after Ripple Labs and the US Securities Exchange Commission SEC legal battle has pretty much come to an end. As highlighted in the previous articles, Judge Alice Torres ruled that the secondary sales of XRP are not security. This verdict has helped provide greater regulatory clarity, strengthening the investors' confidence in a digital asset. Nevertheless, Ripple was ordered to pay a $125 million fine for institutional XRP sales violating federal security laws. Now, XRP's role in the global financial payment systems. In a related post, the Capitalist also noted that the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have consistently featured XRP and stablecoins in payment discourses. They have, without a doubt, the International Monetary Fund and the Bank of International Settlements have multiple PDF documentations with the words XRP and Ripple inside their PDF documentations. Multiple documentations. The founder thinks that this is not a coincidence, but the foundation of the new monetary system. Meanwhile, Ripple has preserved a brand identified and connected to financial transactions since its foundings. XRP is already being used to solve key financial problems in the crypto space. For instance, XRP is a bridge currency in cross-border payments, offering instant settlements at lower charges between different fiat currencies. According to a recent analysis, the Bank of Russia began exploring XRP in its financial systems back in 2018, which is also true, because also a new PDF documentation was released from the Central Bank of Russia that did state that Ripple's technology was used, essentially XRP and Ripple's technology was used within that Russian payment system, those are cross-border payments, and their testing did start back in 2018. Moreover, Ripple strongly believes that blockchain-based payment solutions may become invaluable to local banks. As noted in our early post, the payment company provides local banks with blockchain-based payment solutions to help small and medium-sized businesses overcome the hurdles of traditional cross-border transactions, which is also true. Ripple did release on their own website regarding small and medium-sized businesses how they can definitely take advantage of Ripple's technology and the XRP ledger in general. Overall, Ripple's blockchain solution have helped strengthen XRP's position as a leader in the crypto markets in terms of cross-border payments. As XRP sees more integration, experts' prediction of XRP visiting global payments could eventually come true. So there's a perspective coming from the black swan capitalist, essentially, the person that's predicting some sort of a black swan event to happen inside the world before we do some sort of a 360 entire payment system and go completely digital. But there's a perspective coming from him. Now, one part of his perspective was maybe not that much of a speculation. Okay, so we'll go small little bullet points. He said Ripple has some ties. Members of Ripple executives have ties with Ripple, have ties with Elon Musk. It's true up to a certain extent. So Elon Musk did have essentially some sort of a relationship when Ripple was called essentially OpenCoin. It was OneCoin. When Ripple was called OneCoin, there was some sort of a relationship going on as a support relationship with Elon Musk and Ripple members when it was called essentially OneCoin. And then it was rebranded to OpenCoin, and then it was rebranded to Ripple Inc., and then rebranded now to Ripple. So yes, before Ripple was called Ripple, there was actually a tie of support coming from Elon Musk towards Ripple, the Ripple that we know now. There was a relationship back then. Is that relationship still existing? Probably. I mean, we've never seen any sort of negative from Elon Musk towards Ripple or Ripple members. Because why I say this is why there should still be some sort of relationship. Elon Musk, as we all know, is a very vocal man. Elon Musk is not the type of person to shy away from a conversation or a debate. He says it how it is. So if he was against Ripple's movements or what Ripple does and is not in a good relationship with Ripple, he would have said something by now. He's a very vocal man, and he says how it is, and he doesn't care if anybody doesn't like his opinion. So I would still say there's probably a relationship there because he's never said anything negative about them. Now, on that basis, the second bullet point he made was Ripple and XRP essentially being used for cross-border payments and being essentially in so many World Bank documents and Bank of International Settlement documents and so on, International Monetary Fund documents. It's true. Ripple and the word Ripple, XRP Ledger, and XRP have been used in multiple PDF documents. In terms of the Bank of International Settlements and the International Monetary Fund, many documents. Not just those two, but in terms of central bank documents as well. You could pretty much go to major central bank websites. And all central bank websites have a search bar. For example, you can go to the Bank of England website, for example, and just type in Ripple, and a PDF document will come up in the Bank of England's website with Ripple. You can go to pretty much any centralized bank under the Bank of International Settlements and type in the words Ripple, XRP Ledger in the search box, and a PDF document will pop up on some sort of test payments or test research stages and so on. So it is true. It has been used. The word Ripple, the word XRP, and the word XRP Ledger has been used in multiple PDF documentation for test purposes, for research purposes, and so on. It's true. So it has been used in the Bank of International Monetary Fund. That's true. Elon Musk did have ties before when Ripple wasn't called Ripple. And also that on the matter of, there's no coincidence in this matter. I also believe that as well. I'm from the corporate sector as well, and there are genuinely no, such thing as a coincidence inside the corporate world. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything just happens on a coordinated time frame. But to regular people, it looks like a coincidence, and regular people always get surprised, and they go look at it and go, in the retail section in general, they always get surprised, and they go, oh wow, this happened and that happened. But for the corporate section, it was in the works for it to happen. They just pretend they're surprised also. And in reality, the corporate section is not surprised. They're planning movements to happen. So everything is pretty much said is true. It's all true. It has been mentioned in documents. Ripple did release a publication for small and medium-sized businesses. Elon Musk did have ties before, when Ripple wasn't called Ripple, to Ripple members. It's all true. Now, Metaplanet is what we're going to talk about next. The Japanese project. The Japanese company that's following the blueprints of MicroStrategy's company, which has now become a Bitcoin company. Metaplanet is what we're going to talk about next. But before we do that, let's go inside the comment section. What's up, Miles? The CMF XRP bullish news. That was one of them. Elon uses XRP. Well, he does own. There's a wallet that's pretty much assigned to him, but we don't know for sure. Hello, Miles. I hope that Miles and the CMF has had a good day or an evening. Let's go, Scott. How you doing? How you been? Hello, Miles. How are your parents? How are you? How's business? Business good. Parents good. Everyone good. Scott, good to see you. CMF. Hello. I am hyped about the future. Let's go, Scott. Share the program. Let's go. XRP fine deadline is coming up. Virtual TVK price prediction 2024. More underlying money. You can direct message me. Let me take a look into it, or put it as a comment after the video. I'll take a look into it and let you know. I need to see what the developments are, who they're working with, what contracts they have, what money transfer, the licenses that they have, before I give you a perspective on any project. Once friends, always friends. Elon and Brett. Let's go. Last but not least, Bank of Russia. And Bank of Russia is also true as well, regarding the PDF documentation that just came out. Now, Metaplanet. Metaplanet teams up with SBI VC Trade for Bitcoin management. Metaplanet is a company that's based out of Japan. Now, they've been doing excellent on the stock exchange, excellent on Japan Stock Exchange, since they decided to enter the space of blockchain and go for Bitcoin. They've essentially became Japan's Bitcoin ETF. The same way, before we had Bitcoin ETFs inside the United States, we had MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy was originally the first Bitcoin ETF, kind of. MSTR stock, MicroStrategy. People would buy MSTR stock because MicroStrategy was buying Bitcoin. So that was pretty much originally the first Bitcoin ETF in America. So Metaplanet is a similar situation, but in Japan. And they're following the blueprints of MicroStrategy. Metaplanet, a Japanese venture capitalist firm, has collaborated with SBI VC Trade, the crypto arm of financial services behemoth SBI Group. Interestingly, Metaplanet will leverage SBI secure services such as tax efficiency, trading assistance, and other operations. Metaplanet, the Japanese MicroStrategy, above all, the crypto trading company, is set to support the investment firm's ongoing efforts to strengthen its corporate Bitcoin holdings. The Tokyo-listed public firm disclosed in a public announcement earlier today that its partnership aligns with its strategy to become a modern financial service provider and engage with key industry players in Japan. Notably, SBI VC Trade is quite popular for its groundbreaking innovations and advancements in the crypto industry. In April, the crypto exchange launched a new possibility for a crypto enthusiast to earn passive income when holding Shiba, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash. It is also looking to expand into its footholds of Metaplanet. Metaplanet's CEO Simon and essentially posted on X and said, "We are teaming up with the trading platform and is set to expand the firm's financial opportunities. In addition, it was revealed that any notable financial effects or important progress arising from this collaboration would be announced in due time." Like MicroStrategy's, Metaplanet has been accumulating Bitcoin as a part of its investment approach. This bullish Bitcoin accumulation has attracted considerable attention from market watchers, leading to the firm to be dubbed the MicroStrategy of Asia. Is Metaplanet now. I announced the news of Metaplanet a while ago when Metaplanet was a company that wasn't doing too well in terms of financing. And then they decided to go on the Bitcoin track and announce they're following the blueprints of MicroStrategy. And now look at them. I mean, that company is doing excellent, to be fairly honest. The company choice to invest in Bitcoin was influenced by economic factors, such as the depreciation of the Japanese yen and other significant market conditions. This part of the news that I just read out is going to be very valuable for the ending of tonight's live show, because I'm going to read something that this part is related to. So the part that the ending of tonight's live show, not now, we still have a lot to go through on tonight's live show, but the ending of tonight's live show, I'm going to read you something that's going to be very relatable to this part. So keep this in your head. The company's choice to invest in Bitcoin was influenced by the economic factors such as the depreciation of Japan's yen and other significant market conditions. Remember this for the last part of the show. Now, Metaplanet Bitcoin reserves grow. The investment firm has been intensely essentially growing its Bitcoin holdings by seizing various market opportunities. This comes after the designated the cryptocurrency as primary treasury reserve asset. By incorporating a digital asset into its reserves, the firm revealed that it has been able to hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. The firm achieved its targets by accumulating 1 billion yen worth of Bitcoin in July. So far, Metaplanet has accumulated 360 Bitcoin, equivalent to $207 million. Also, the firm has recorded an exceptional growth in its shares. Currently, its shares are trading at approximately $8.35, reflecting a 662% increase so far this year. Metaplanet, since they announced the news of going into Bitcoin, they've increased in terms of their pricings 662% up. Bitcoin sees increased adoption aimed at market offset. Many crypto investors, exchanges, and institutional investors are optimistic about holding Bitcoin as they diversify their holdings. They are confident that the digital asset holds significant promise compared to its other investment assets. Meanwhile, some crypto traders are cautious, seeking alternative opportunities within the altcoin markets. This also goes back to something that I said a very long time ago. People start out inside the corporate world with Bitcoin and they go in towards the altcoin projects, which is what's happening right now. There's a lot of institutions diversifying into other crypto projects, not just Bitcoin. It's just what happens. Now, moving on from the Metaplanet news, which is quite massive news regarding Metaplanet, partner of SBI to expand their range, quite big. Now, another country launches investigation against Telegram. What's going on? It seems like the Telegram situation has got bigger than it originally was, because now there are quite a lot of countries involved in the whole Telegram situation. An investigation has begun against Telegram in South Korea. Now, I released the news on South Korea looking into Telegram, but now an official investigation has started up in South Korea about Telegram. Also, they've partnered with the French authorities. And another country has got involved, and another country has also got involved, which is what we're about to go through right now. So, an investigation has begun against Telegram in South Korea on similar charges brought against the messenger in France. Citing the police report that the platform is accused of aiding and abetting certain illicit activities on Telegram, the head of South Korea's National Police Investigation Agency, Woo Jong-soo, said that Telegram is not providing the data necessary for investigation, including account information. Apparently, Telegram did not want to share account information of users on Telegram to South Korea authorities. So, South Korea has now essentially started an actual investigation of Telegram as well, and they're teaming up with French authorities. So they noted that this is the first investigation against Telegram in South Korea ever. It concerns 8 bots that generate fake materials and illicit activity content and channels that distribute these images. From August 26th to 29th, the police received 88 complaints and identified 24 subjects that are doing this in South Korea on Telegram. South Korean law enforcement officials want to cooperate with French authorities, according to them. A similar problem worries representatives of other countries, including the United States. Telegram blocked in Indonesia as well. So Telegram's not just being blocked, essentially, not being investigated, but Telegram, putting aside being investigated, they're also getting blocked. The same thing that's happening to X is what's basically happening to Telegram. So French is investigating the Telegram, which is not good for Ton in the long term. South Korea has now officially opened up an investigation into Telegram. Indonesia has just blocked Telegram. So Telegram blocked in Indonesia. Now, Jakarta also reported after an investigation began in France, citing statements from Indonesian Minister of Communications and Information Technology that Indonesian authorities are considering blocking Telegram in the country as well, because a case has also started on Telegram in Indonesia. The minister said that the authorities are concerned about the spread of illegal content on Telegram, including the alleged involvement of Pavel project promoting online gambling and distributing illicit activity. They said, I would prefer to shut down, essentially, Bigo Live and Telegram immediately, but a team needs to conduct further studies first. According to him, the Indonesian government has repeatedly approached Telegram representatives and the team of another live streaming app, Bigo Live as well, asking them to improve content moderation. However, the companies must still implement more effective measures to meet the country's regulatory requirements. The investigation against Telegram in France. Telegram founder Pavel was detained in France. He has been charged with conspiracy and sexualized violence against underage people, drug trafficking, and several other crimes were committed thanks to the ability to remain anonymous on Telegram. After 4 days in custody, Pavel has been released on bail for 5 million euros, banned from leaving France, and ordered to report to the police twice a week. Telegram stated that the platform's moderation meets standards, the messenger team complies with EU laws, and blaming the platform's founder for user abuse is absurd. New details of Pavel's integration. So we've just had, essentially right now, today, we've just received pretty much exclusive details of what essentially happened behind closed doors. So we are about to pretty much go through right now what happened behind closed doors with Telegram's founder and the French authorities is what was discussed. So the French newspaper Le Parisien cited a source close to the investigation, reported that Pavel, during interrogation in Paris, said that he had communicated with representatives of general dictators of international security of French Ministry of Inner Affairs. This publication claims that the message's founder allegedly said that he opened official communication channel with French counterintelligence as a part of a fight against illicit activities. This concerns as a certain hotline and a special email address. The exchange of information via this communication channel made it possible to prevent several illicit activities to happen. According to Libertarian, Pavel expressed his willingness to cooperate with the law enforcement agencies after his arrest and gave him his phone and with the access code to it. So apparently, Pavel has decided to form some sort of alliance with French authorities, which means Pavel chose option number 1. Remember when I laid out a few outcomes for Pavel on this live show, and I said, because people asked the question of, someone asked the question of, what's going to be happening to Telegram, what's going to be happening to Ton, their entire ecosystem. And I said, well, Pavel has 3 options. I said, option number 1, he communicates with them. He communicates and opens his doors and lets the authorities in. Option number 2, he goes against them, which is pretty much a losing battle. And it doesn't matter how much billions or trillions you have, it's a losing battle. You're going to lose either way. And I said, no, option number 3 is pretty much not a good option either. But he chose option 1, which is the first option I told and said, it's a losing battle. You have to communicate. Otherwise, what? You're going to be arrested? You're going to go to prison for a very long time? For what? So, choosing option 1, as I said, which is the smarter option, the information presented in the Libertarian Republican publication has been not officially confirmed. Representatives of the French investigation, Pavel, did not comment on the matter, that what was just released and leaked. Telegram accumulates crypto assets as well. According to the Financial Times, Telegram held about $400 million in worth of cryptocurrencies back in 2023. FT, citing financial documents, added that in 2024, the messenger sold Toncoin worth more than $244 million. In addition, last year, the company received a revenue of $342 million, operating losses of $108 million, and totaling losses of about $173 million after taxes. Telegram also raised about $2.4 billion in debt financing maturing in 2026. Telegram's crypto initiative continues to develop. Telegram's cryptocurrency initiatives began to develop especially rapidly after Pavel again spoke about creating a decentralized financial instruments based on social networks back in December 2022. He revealed tools for trading and storing cryptocurrencies. The team's plans include creating non-custodial crypto wallets and decentralized exchanges on Telegram, because Telegram's aim was, and still is, to become an everything app, and Ton is going to be their only token. So Pavel's initiative responded to the collapse of the centralized crypto exchange FTX back in November 2022. He believed that crypto industries should return to its decentralized roots. The developers should have specified when the message's new tools would appear on the market. We developers should steer the blockchain industry away from centralization by building fast and easy to use decentralized applications for the masses. Such projects are finally feasible today. Telegram's founder is big on the idea of freedom of speech, human rights. He's very big on the idea, and it should be. Everybody should be. Everybody should be in favor of human rights and freedom of speech. It's just basic rights. And he's also in favor of full decentralization. Since then, Telegram has begun actively strengthening its presence as a tool for cryptocurrencies and decentralization finance, DeFi. The messenger has the messenger now has its cryptocurrency wallet, mini games for earning cryptocurrencies, and more on Telegram's app. After Pavel's arrest in France, the community had concerns about the messenger's further developments. However, the Telegram team concluded they had a plan in case of a force situation. So apparently it turns out Telegram knew, or Pavel knew, that maybe they're on the verge of being arrested. So what will happen to Telegram now? The concerns about the Messenger app are primarily related to the problem of content moderation, which is why, according to authorities, the Messenger is actively used by criminals. After the accusations in France, the authorities of other countries may follow in suit and begin essentially analyzing Telegram's activities more actively. However, no other charges have been brought up against Pavel yet. So, Telegram's founder is now being investigated by South Korea officially, and Indonesia officially as well. And leaked conversations have came out of what was discussed in the room behind closed doors, and it seems like Telegram is going to be communicating with the authorities, which was the safer choice for Telegram to operate. And I said this before as well. It doesn't matter if you have millions or billions or trillions in the bank. If you're not a part of their circle, you don't have a voice still. Because what people need to understand, what most people don't tend to forget, even millionaires forget this point, even billionaires or trillionaires forget this as well, which is you can't go up against people that print the money. So it doesn't matter if you have millions or billions or trillions in your bank account. It still doesn't give you the right. Well, it should give you the right, but it's still, you don't have a voice still, is what I'm trying to say. Money doesn't give you a voice. It gives you a voice for a certain period of time, and then they'll take it away from you. So it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire. If you try to debate with these people, with these government authorities and the world, essentially World Economic Forum and so on, you're going up against people who run the show, who print the money. So how are you going to win against somebody that prints the money you are holding? It's a losing battle. So it doesn't matter if you have millions or billions or trillions in the bank. You're going against somebody, you're debating against somebody that's printing the billions and trillions you have. It's a losing battle. So it's not just that, retail section sometimes forgets this. Millionaires also forget this, billionaires also forget this, and trillionaires also forget this as well. You're going up against people that print the billions and trillions you have. You don't have some sort of debate going on any sort of a way. So yes, people tell you, make your money, get your millions, get your billions, and you can do whatever and say whatever you want. Incorrect. You can do whatever you want, but you still can't say whatever you want because they're printing it. The billions and trillions you have has been printed by the people you're trying to debate. Losing battle. They'll take it all away from you. This game is rigged beyond what people can imagine. So it's not just the retail section sometimes. The millionaires forget as well. Some millionaires forget. Doesn't matter if you have millions, you still can't speak out. Doesn't matter if you have billions or trillions. If you're not a part of their circle, then you're not a part of their circle. And money means nothing to these people. They print money. They couldn't care less about money. What they have is power and control of what you see, of what you hear. That's more important to them. Money's nothing to them because they print it out of thin air. So what they do actually have is power in what you see and what you hear. That's more valuable to them than money. Hence why the censorship is going on right now as well. Now, next news on tonight's live show is regarding Ripple's chief legal officer. But before we go through that, let's consider the comment section first. Troy, thank you for the $50 donation. Let's go, Troy. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go straight to the CMF fund. Let's go. Thank you, brother. Last but not least, Bank Garage. Yep. I read that one. I read that. Okay. Did you find out if it's true or not regarding Elon offering to buy Ripple? If so, that shows Elon's faith in Ripple. I didn't find any sort of, essentially actual sources that claim some sort of evidence or truth to that matter. But on the topic of does Elon have some sort of relationship with Ripple? Yes, before when Ripple wasn't called Ripple. On the matter of is he buying it? No, I haven't had any sort of actual verifiable sources. SBI is huge in Japan in different aspects, if I'm not mistaken. Facts, it is. SBI is massive in Japan. I love your crypto informative works. How do I get ahead in the crypto space? Thank you so much for the kind words, Toby. I love your crypto informative works. How do I get ahead in the crypto space? Or what crypto is good buy for this crypto halving season? Okay. What crypto is good? Okay, I'll tell you to like this, Toby, and thank you so much for the kind words. I'll tell you to like this. When it comes to crypto space, it's not just about the profit scale of price action. If you are looking for price action, then meme coins is what you want to head towards. But if you want to remain in the utility section with all the banks and institutions and regulations, is where you really want to be in. You need to look at the finance category. The number one category inside the crypto space is money going digital. Money going digital is going to be the number one category. The number two category is going to be data. Number three is going to follow with AI and so on. So the money category inside the finance category inside the crypto space has the subcategories of tokenizations. It falls under essentially finance category. It has the subcategory of CBDCs also as well. So the finance category, money going digital, is always going to be number one, and data category is going to be number two. Going into a digital world, everything's going to rely on data. So Web3 related data, AI needs data, gaming needs data, social credit systems need data. Anything you can think of in a digital world, data is going to be extremely valuable. So data category always number two, finance number one. So what you want to do is going into a digital world, and how this entire world is pretty much completely rigged, and crypto was supposed to happen. Blockchain was supposed to happen. It was planned to happen. Nothing happens by coincidence, especially not in this world. Maybe in a different world, but not in this world. But as I said previously, in a very short gist way, this whole blockchain space started with the COVID situation, mainly because the World Bank was doing testings on blockchain during COVID. The World Bank was doing testings on blockchain, and then it was successful testing, and then COVID happened. So World Bank, back in 2019-ish, World Bank was doing blockchain testing, and it was successful, and then COVID starts. COVID starts exactly when World Bank was doing testing blockchain successful. So that's made people move away from essentially cryptocurrency, and that made people move away from cash, because cash carries germs. The data shows it, towards essentially cryptocurrencies. And then governments told you crypto is bad, crypto is bad, crypto is bad, so people run towards crypto. The end goal for governments was essentially to put everybody into a digital future, but they needed you to naturally walk into a digital future rather than the government pushing you into a digital future. So, because if they try to push people towards blockchain, even though blockchain is great, if they try to push people towards blockchain, people will reject it straight away because nobody trusts governments. So instead, they made it look like people stumbled upon blockchain because the end goal was going to be CBDCs. They want you to get used to, essentially sending crypto payments to CBDC, sending crypto payments, wallet to wallet addresses, getting used to this whole digital future because the end result is CBDCs. It was always set up for the end result to be CBDCs, but they wanted you to stumble upon it by yourself. And they told you crypto is bad, crypto is bad, crypto is bad, just basic reverse psychology, so you run into blockchain space. And it all started with the World Bank doing testings on blockchain, which was successful. COVID starts, everybody moves away from cash, goes into online banking, mobile banking, because cash carries germs. Since COVID, people still believe that. And people run towards, because if you look at the crypto surge, there's so much data out there. If you look at the crypto surge that happened during COVID, was ridiculous. A spike of people coming inside the crypto space during COVID. It just spiked up straight away. People coming inside the crypto space from COVID times. Exact same. And then they told people crypto's bad, crypto's bad, crypto's bad. Governments were telling crypto's bad. News is telling you crypto's bad. So people will go against the news. So people will go against the governments. They did all of this so the end result could just be pretty much CBDCs because they want you to step by step stumble upon it. And with the Russian and essentially Ukraine war was just a bump of the prices, create a bigger gap between everybody else. And what's going on right now, especially is the increasing crime situation all around the world as well. It's because they want you to beg for control later on. That part comes later on with the social credit systems because they want you to beg for control and safety. And then the government will go, no problem, you want safety, here's a new plan. And then people will want that new plan because it's control and safe. So they're letting disruption happen so later on they can control it. It's just, it goes back to also another thing where essentially create a problem, introduce a solution. If you're the one that created the problem, then you're the one that can create, essentially introduce the solution. It's just much more easier. So they're creating a problem for them later on to introduce a solution and pretend, you know, they never had any clue about it. And the people that are coming inside of countries, boatload of people coming inside of countries, it's mainly because they want everybody into CBDCs. And it's much more easier to get people into CBDCs on that matter. It's all related to CBDC. Everything that's happening around the world, it's all related to going into a digital world. It's bigger than you think. And it was all planned. If you look at the data from the World Bank, look at how COVID happened. Look at the World Bank. The data is on point. World Bank testing successful for cryptocurrency, for blockchain technology. COVID happens. People move away from cash. And then they tell people cryptocurrency is bad. People run more towards cryptocurrencies. And then essentially the Ukraine-Russia war situation happens. There's a gap created where a lot of people can't afford basic things. Everything is either a distraction or either a setup for it to happen. But the end result was always going to be CBDCs. 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs. 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs. That is nowhere near a coincidence. And that's according to the Bank of International Settlements, the banks of all banks. 63 centralized banks are under the Bank of International Settlements. The BRICS nations are under the Bank of International Settlements. G20 countries, G7 countries, they're all under the Bank of International, 98%. So on all of those base points, knowing that 98% of the centralized banks are on CBDCs, the end result was always going to be CBDCs. We're getting prepared for the CBDC world. Even Apple Pay, Google Pay, Amazon Pay are going into CBDC payments now. They're doing CBDC testings. And the first trial they're doing is with India's central bank. India's central bank is about to be doing Google Pay CBDC payments. Essentially, Amazon Pay CBDC payments, Apple CBDC payments. That's what's coming next. And they're going to be starting out in India first. So all of this was set up for us to go into a digital world. Everything was set up. This entire game has been rigged. Since the day you were born, it was rigged. So it's all for control. Knowing all of that, there are 24,000 crypto projects. Plus, there are 24,000 plus crypto projects. There is only one crypto project since day one has focused and worked alongside banks. But mainly, there is one crypto project out of 24,000 crypto projects that has always focused on CBDCs, that has a CBDC active platform that is being used, has won multiple CBDC awards, has done multiple speeches and will always do speeches at the World Economic Forum, which means they're part of the circle, is on multiple documentations for the International Monetary Fund, multiple documentations for the Bank of International Settlements and other centralized banks around the world, as Ripple and XRP. Some people don't like to hear Ripple and XRP because they want price action. People want to make money now, but they're not thinking about tomorrow. My father always told me, don't think about today, think about tomorrow. Whatever you do impacts you tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I don't mean literally tomorrow. I mean future-wise. So, and I know also my father always tells me not to look at the tip of my nose, but look further. So in other words, look at the bigger picture. Don't look at the smaller picture of no price action. Look at the bigger picture, the PDF documentations, the contracts, the money transfer licensings, where it's listed, who it's working with, what the developments they're doing. So the entire world, this entire blockchain scheme, it was all set up for CBDC end goals. So the number one project you want to look into is XRP. Number two is pretty much XLM and XDC. Number three is ACH. They're all on the finance category. ACH has a multitude of finance, essentially money transfer licensings. XDC, R3 quarter, Japanese banks. I mean, essentially the Bank of International Settlements, R3 quarter, XDC. So the finance category is key in a financial world, but they're not going to be overnight type of projects, okay? These projects are not going to be overnight type of projects. They need to be 1 billion% sure before changing the entire financial system. It's not something that you can do overnight because there cannot be any bugs in the system. And I've always said you can't put Ripple in the same category of the other 24,000 crypto projects. You cannot put Ripple in the same category because a different type of crypto project is going to launch some sort of an application, like a Web3 application, and nobody cares if the Web3 application doesn't work for 4 hours. If there's downtime or a bug in the system, nobody could care less of a, for example, if Solana releases a Web3 app and people are using this Solana Web3 app and it goes on downtime for 4 hours, people will be, tweeted about it and go, oh, it doesn't work, but nobody's going to cause havoc and disruptions and protests. And what I mean by that is with Ripple, what they're trying to achieve, if it goes south, if Ripple launches, if it goes south, then people will be protesting, it will be havoc, because imagine not being able to access your bank account because there's a massive bug in the system. It doesn't work for 24 hours or 48 hours, or it gets compromised. And people can't do payments. They can't buy groceries. They can't pay their rent. They can't pay their mortgages, their loans. What Ripple's trying to achieve, you can't put them in the same category of the rest of 24,000 crypto projects, because Ripple, as I said previously, doesn't have to be 100% sure. They have to be 1,000,000,000% sure before launching. So they're in a complete different category than the rest of the crypto project, without a doubt. Because what they're trying to achieve, if it backfires, it will really backfire. Finance category is what you want to be looking at. Number one category inside the crypto space is the finance category, money going digital. Number two is data. Even Saudi Arabia, one of the oil head countries in the world, one of the biggest oil head countries pretty much in the world, Saudi Arabia, they made an article about how data is pretty much the next oil. Because it is. We're going into a digital world, and data means everything in a digital world. So I've always said data is pretty much the next oil as well. And I said this before Saudi Arabia ever said it as well. I said this in 2023, essentially when I was saying on this live show. I've been doing this live show for over 2 years, every single night now. Roughly about 2 years, every single night now. Completely for free as well. Never charge any money. Now, so number one category, XRP, XLM, XDC. Number two category, look at the data section. But stay in the finance category is what I would say. Good morning, Miles and CMF. Good morning, good to see you. How you doing? So, Toby, that's what I would say to you. Miles, I'm not rich, so it has always been rigged against me. Like Camel, like the other two brothers, which want to get arrested. Yep. Your father sounds like a wise man, Miles. Thank you so much, Shelly, for the kind words for my father. Do any of your family members watch your lives? Nobody. No, none of them watch my lives. My father busy, mother busy, my sibling busy, but no, nobody watches my lives. I think my mother once saw a bits of my life. She came onto the YouTube one, so she saw some parts of the life, but in general, they're incredibly busy. But either way, they're very supportive of me being inside this whole crypto venture and so on. They're very big crypto people as well, mainly because of me. Now, but my entire family is pretty much into it. Ripple's chief legal officer is what we're going to talk about next. Ripple's chief legal officer slams SEC use of crypto assets. Securities stop trying to deceive judges. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart, took to social media on September 2nd and essentially expressed his concerns about the SEC. Taking to his X handle, he wrote that the term crypto asset securities is nowhere to be found in any statute. Ripple's chief legal officer has decided to start a dispute with Gary Gensler on X, stating that Gary Gensler is making up his own words in court battles. So the term crypto asset security is nowhere to be found in any statute and is a fabricated term with no legal basis. The SEC needs to stop trying to deceive judges by using it, which is true. It has there's no such wording of essentially what this is trying to use as crypto asset securities. There's no such thing as a wording like that, and they do need to stop using that in court battles. Now, a federal judge recently did order Ripple to pay the SEC approximately $125 million, and penalties significantly lower than the $2 billion the agency was initially after. In a legal battle that began about 4 years ago, the penalty is related to charges of the improperly selling of his XRP tokens to institutional investors. Now, the term crypto asset security is nowhere to be found in any statute. It's a fabricated term with no legal basis. The SEC needs to stop trying to deceive judges by using it. After this, Stewart expressed satisfaction with the final outcome of the lengthy legal battle with the SEC. He said that Ripple was determined to defend the case, not just on its own behalf, but also on the behalf of the entire crypto industry. Stewart also criticized the SEC's current administration for taking an anti-crypto stance and engaging in what he described as war on crypto through the courts. Stewart said regarding the $125 million fine imposed by the courts, Stewart, Ripple's chief legal officer, acknowledged that a decision stating that the court found certain historical sales should have been registered under security laws. However, he pointed out to the judge's dismiss of the SEC's $2 billion demand, recognizing that Ripple did not act recklessly or with intent to defraud. Ripple is focused on the clarity and finality of this ruling provides, which he believes beneficial for not only Ripple, but for the broader crypto industry as well. And last July, the Rhode Island U.S. District Judge Torres in Manhattan granted Ripple a partial victory, ruling that XRPs on its public exchange sales were not considered unregistered securities offerings, and the judge later rejected the SEC's request to appeal that decision, which is all true, yes. Regarding the SEC using random words in court, hoping to win, it's true. Gary Gensler does make up his own rules, and he also makes up his own words. None of them have relevance. That's why Gary Gensler has not been able to win any case, major case at all. And on the matters of Stewart discussing the matters of the $125 million fine and saying also that people are taking it out of proportion, they didn't act recklessly, hence why they're not paying $2 billion, and they were acting within the law, just that security pause of not. And the reason why they had to pay $125 million, mainly why Ripple had to pay $125 million, is because there were no rules and regulations. So when there are no rules and regulations, you risk of operating in a gray area. When you risk operating in a gray area, it can backfire sometimes. So that's not really Ripple's fault. It's just Gary Gensler rigging the game. Now, Japanese crypto taxing. Why is this important to you? You could be from anywhere around the world watching this live show. Why is the Japanese crypto taxing important? Why it's important is the deadline, because it's now being moved to 2025. You see, the Japanese crypto taxation law was supposed to be introduced by 2030 originally, and then they said by 2028, and then they said by 2027, and then they said by 2026, and now they're saying by 2025. For all the weird deadlines that we're giving, 2030, 29, 28, 27, I pretty much every single time I say when governments tell you something's going to happen in 2029 in blockchain regulations, they're lying to you because they want to make you think that you have more time, when in reality you don't have any time, because the longer they make you think you have time, the longer they can have you trapped on CBDCs. So this is not just what Japan did, but also a lot of jurisdictions are changing their deadlines and they're making them much more quicker on the releases. The Japanese crypto tax is now pushing towards a completion by 2025, which is also what I said was going to be happening. Now, CoinPost reported the plans were made in the asset income doubling plan, a realization of establishment of a nation through asset utilization chapter of their manifesto. Now, in efforts to maximize their asset their asset utilization for economic growth, the document filed by the FSA with the Financial Income Tax System Integration Project and the section titled Current Situation and Problems, there is a call for revelation of the classification of a virtual currency as financial assets, a evolution essentially for whether they must be regarded as an asset project to investments, and presents a major shift in the Japanese crypto tax. If Japan introduces a crypto tax this soon, then that means what's next? Cross-border payments, because they need to get the taxation out of the way, and then the cross-border regulations will come, and then cross-borders will be happening. Industry calls for unified Japanese crypto tax rate. While there are no specifics have been floated as yet, the bringing of transactions within the cryptocurrency into the ambit of a reform plan is a new feature. The proposal will go before the party's Tax System Research Committee and the National Assembly before the change by the laws. This slew of potential reforms has essentially piqued the interest of industry groups and investors who have long advocated for the reform of essentially existing tax structures, as it currently stands against from cryptocurrency transactions and can be taxed as high as 55%. While stakeholders in Japan are demanding a more simplified crypto tax structure, they propose having one tax rate of 20% independent taxation similar to other financial Investment categories. Japanese crypto tax will attract more activity to the cryptocurrency market and boost economic activities somehow. The FCA's 2025 tax reform requirements mention crypto asset transactions for the first time. The proposal highlights the need to reconsider Japanese crypto tax, though specified measures have not been yet defined. There is an ongoing advocacy from industry groups and investors to reduce the crypto taxation's current maximum tax rate of 55%. The Japanese taxation has just streamlined much more quicker. It was supposed to be released by 2030, 29, 28, 27, 26, and now 25. Look, we're not that far off from a second green light is what we need. We need regulations for cross-border payments to happen on a large scale, taxation to happen on a large scale, tokenization to happen on a large scale. So we're not that far off in terms of regulations. It used to be 2030, 2029, 2028, which was all BS. Now, crypto dominates biggest 2024 ETF launches, the ETF store. And by the way, why, the Japanese saying by 2025 completion, it could also mean 2024. By the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025. Now, crypto dominance in terms of biggest 2024 ETF launches, the ETF store. Before I read you this, let's go start a comment section first. Thank you so much. That was such a positive crypto school. Let's go, Toby. I remember a year ago, Miles, when an algorithm caused the Great British Pounds fell against the USD, but they never corrected it to fall. Miles, do we need to move Polygon back to exchanges for transition next week? Regarding the upgrade that's happening, some exchanges are covering it. I think it's only some exchanges. Facts, let's go, Stormy. And I think it's some exchanges, but Mike message me and I'll take a look into it. I think it's only some exchanges you can do it on. Crypto dominates biggest 2024 ETF launches. The ETF store, cryptocurrency exchange traded funds, accounted for 13 of the 25 largest ETFs in 2024. By year-to-date inflows, according to a post on X platform by Nate, the president of the ETF store, an investment advisor specializing in ETFs. Of approximately 400 new ETFs were launched in 2024. 400 new ETFs, not just crypto ETFs, but in general, all types of ETFs, ETF categories. There were 400 ETFs announced in 2024. The four biggest launches by inflows have all been spot Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust tops the charts with the almost $21 billion in inflows to date. It followed by Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, FBTC, with nearly $10 billion in net inflows, and ARK21 Shares Bitcoin ETF as well, and Bitwise Bitcoin ETF Trust as well, each with roughly $2 billion in net inflows, according to a post. In seventh place is the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, which led to a pack among Ether ETFs with an upward of $1 billion in net inflows. According to data from Morningstar, a fund researcher, the ETF cleared $1 billion mark in August. Total net assets in spot Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs exceed $60 billion, according to Morningstar. The market for cryptocurrency ETFs will continue to expand to new types of digital assets and diversified crypto indexes, according to an executive at asset manager Grayscale Investments. We're going to see a number of more single asset products and then also certainly some index-based and diversified products, Dave, Grayscale's global head of ETFs, said. Numerous of other proposed crypto ETFs are seeking regulatory approval. They include new types of single asset funds, such as Solana ETFs, and diversified crypto indexes, such as hashtag NASDAQ crypto index ETFs and XRP ETFs. Net inflows essentially into spot crypto ETFs exceed more than 3 times the largest one-year inflows of any other ETF in the history of ETFs. So we're talking about a massive, massive adoption. That's a crazy statement to make. More than 3 times the largest one-year inflow of any ETF ever in the history of ETFs were crypto ETFs. Crypto ETFs were essentially, the way they dominated the ETF space was ridiculous. Now, moving on to this news, moving away from the data news regarding ETFs and how they dominated the scales. And more ETFs are on the way, which was also something that Grayscale said. Not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, but in general, all types of ETFs are on the way. Now, something that's been asked, not regularly, but sometimes people want to know the answer to this question. It's been particularly asked to me as well a few times, which is, how do I pass my cryptocurrencies on as inheritance to a family member, for example? How can I, pass my cryptocurrencies on? So this is a question that's now being answered, and this company has partnered with Trust Wallet. Decentralized inheritance, emergence of crypto wealth management. As the market for cryptocurrencies continue to grow, protecting assets remains a top priority in this space. The UBD network has observed this need and therefore came up with the D-Trust wallet. Though this wallet is not just a storage to help you save and secure your tokens, but also encompassing a tool that is geared towards enabling decentralized inheritance. With D-Trust wallet now in place, users can still go through their cryptocurrencies with their added confidence that their wealth they can hold can be passed on to the next person. With this innovation, other revolutions in the cryptocurrency wealth management industry was revealed since there was a gap in the market. In terms of security, D-Trust wallet lets the users create an intriguing, essentially, planning within the wallet. Delayed asset transfers are other functions where people can determine when and how their assets will be released to their loved ones. For example, a user can create a plan that Bitcoin as an asset is handed over to their heirs, to their essentially siblings or to their wife, only after a certain date or under a certain circumstance. Such a level of control and ability to adjust it for specific situations are essentially unattainable in the case of other digital assets. Importance of decentralized inheritance. The conventional systems used in passing on property are slow and costly. They pertain to legal processes such as payments of taxes on certain occasions, essentially protracted litigations in causes of inheritance. These challenges are even more pronounced with cryptocurrencies since they're misplaced or lost, or private keys implies as loss of digital assets. The D-Trust wallet addresses these issues directly as it provides a decentralized solution free from legal complexities. The one that has received a lot of attention thanks to D-Trust wallet app is a decentralized trust mechanism. This enables users to create a system transaction to recover specific assets and forward them to a backup wallet. In other words, if something happens to the owner of the primary wallet, for instance, if he dies, the funds are automatically transferred to a backup wallet. This prevents the money from being wasted through mishandling by people or through system crashes, among other vice versa. One of the biggest pluses is the cost effectiveness of this solution. As well as their simplest form, the cost of establishing a conventional trust can be a staggering high, essentially of $50,000. I'm sure the reader can imagine how much more that would be in respective to their countries. However, D-Trust wallet is cheaper than a similar product, can be an ideal opportunity for a wider number of people. UBD Network's CEO also explained that decentralized inheritance solutions such as D-Trust wallet aim to take up 10% of the market share since there is a growing demand for such a service. D-Trust wallet transfer an emerging digital economy. The D-Trust wallet not only is an accomplishment in moving forward in terms of integration of blockchain, but also makes one thing that means of trustlessness and transferring from one wallet to another from a different perspective. Such a system of passing property is gradually powerless in the face of cryptocurrency practices. The D-Trust wallet was made to provide a solution for digital assets, as well as a contribute to this new change. One of the most exciting features that D-Trust wallet has the opportunity to develop a very detailed and individual inheritances. Not only can users define who will receive his or hers assets and the level of access, but they can also define how the assets can be utilized. For instance, the user could decide that, for example, such an amount should be spent on education on a specific essential requirements. As this level of detail, such a preservation of the wealth, is coupled with the ability to use the money as per the user's intentions. So, for example, let's just say me in this instance. I'll take myself in this equation. Let's say if I die tomorrow and I have a program set up with essentially D-Trust wallet's inheritance program. If I die tomorrow, and in my inheritance, I've written, for example, my cryptocurrencies will be, I don't have any kids, but let's just pretend I do in this instance. So I have a wife and 2 children, for example. So let's just say I die tomorrow. I will be putting in my will that my wife will be receiving a certain amount, my kids will be receiving a certain amount when they reach a certain age, and that the money that I give, for example, to my kids can only be spent on this and that, and they can only be spent on this and that, and they can only be released at the date and time that I put them to be released in. So I'm dead, and I've put they will be released, this money will be released to their wallet addresses when they reach the age of 18, for example, or 21. And then when the moment they reach the age of 21, that money that I have put aside and now I'm dead automatically will be sent to their wallets, to my kids' wallets, when they reach the age of, for example, 21, because I put it at 21 years old. So that money will release, that cryptocurrency will be released from my wallet to their wallets. And I would put, for example, it can only be spent on education or whatever, and it's within inheritance. So that's what they're basically set up, which is something that we didn't have inside the crypto space. Now, some people might say, well, this is stupid because I can just, give my passphrases to my kids. I can give my passphrases to my wife, for example. And then, God forbid something happens, my wife can just type in the seed phrases and get access to my accounts, to my wallet, for example. Yes, the reason why they did this is because just in case you pass away and your wife loses the piece of paper she wrote down the seed phrases on, and then your money's gone forever. Your wallet that you can have millions of dollars in is useless now because your wife has just lost the passphrases, your kids have lost their passphrases too, and nobody can get access to your millions of dollars. But now if you have this particular program set up, the moment they reach a certain age, it will automatically release the cryptocurrencies to their wallets. They don't need to have passphrases. It will just be automatic sent to their wallets. And it'll be automatically sent to your wife's wallet as well. So there's that edge of you will always have access. Your family will always have access to that money, no matter what. So that's why they did this. Also, the D-Trust wallet has been designed to act as a digital trust fund, and users can set conditions regarding the distribution of assets over time. This can do with such conditions as the amount being released every time their hair essentially attires are essentially given an age or it achieves other conditions. They offer this degree of control, which is not given by other conventional ways of inheritance. Conclusion: the larger potential of this technology is vast. With the growing popularity of cryptocurrencies, such inheritances are becoming increasingly necessary. To be safe, fast, and adaptable, as per this demand, the D-Trust wallet solution is to the dear of the promising one to fill the gap. Therefore, it can be stated that the D-Trust wallet by UBD network is a breakthrough when it comes to coping with the problem of cryptocurrency inheritance, creating a secure and efficient and inexpensive means of transferring and storing wealth in cryptocurrencies. It meets the emerging demand for sound methods that can be used in the transaction. It can also change the world on how people leave their cryptocurrency digital legacy throughout their lives to have these assets protected and transferred according to their desired needs when they use decentralized inheritance as a method. Just out of hands, and I'm not saying anybody go to UBD network and do this company that's doing this right now. I'm just sharing the news. I'm not saying you should go to that company. There's probably going to be more companies as we go along. More blockchain companies will come out and do the exact same thing they're doing, the blueprint they've left behind. And it's just making sure you choose the right company. So don't go head first into any company. Make sure that the particular company you do use for this particular method of inheritances in terms of cryptocurrencies has the correct licensings, has money transfer licensings, has the correct documentations to be able to operate in your jurisdiction. Make sure they have all the paperwork that they need to have to operate as a company before you entrust anybody with your crypto assets to give them away when you pass away to your family members. So make sure you do your full research on any company you choose for giving crypto inheritance away, that they have their licensings, that company has licensings to operate in your own jurisdictions. It has essentially a money transfer licensing. It's compliant with rules. So you have to be thorough before committing to any company to do this movement for you. Now, based on you've just heard, would anybody do that? Yes or no? Would you do that? If you want to give an explanation for it as well, go for it inside the comment section. Get involved inside the comment section right now. Would you set up a decentralized inheritance through a crypto company just in case purposes, where family members can receive your crypto money and they don't need to type in seed phrases and so on? And in case they lose their seed phrases, then they can never get access to your money. But this is a good solution, to be fairly honest. And it's a solution that was missing inside the crypto space. It was definitely missing inside the crypto space. So, quick question. Would you do this? Would anybody do this? Put yes or no inside the comment section and give an explanation if you want to as well. Would you set up a crypto inheritance? Yes or no? I'm interested for my daughter to be your wife. She needs a good egg like you. Would you consider moving to Australia, as I don't really want her living in London, too cold, and I've never seen the grandkids? It's an interesting one. No, Ghost Boner, no, Shelly, I want him for my daughter. I think everybody's just looking at the inheritance part. No, I have a prenup. Unfortunately, I have a prenup set up. Sorry, Miles, I was away from the phone for about an hour. Just heard this part because you're not leaving your seat phrases with your lawyers and the will. Yeah, no. I have no. I will never leave them with lawyers because lawyers take too much on fees. Lawyers take too much on fees, so I would never do with lawyers. But a crypto inheritance company that has money transfer licensings is a good idea. I could see the yes, I must do. No, I could see. What if they go south and is going missing way too early for that? I will definitely be waiting for 7 more years. Same. I'm on the same page. I will definitely be waiting for a few more years because there's going to be more companies that's going to offer this service. And as I said, make sure they have the right licensings before you do any sort of movements like that. Trust anybody with your cryptocurrencies. Make sure they have the right licensings. The right money transfer licensing, the right, essentially, to be compliant in your jurisdictions. A lot of things you need to cover before you do any sort of movements like that. What if you go? I've already written a plan for my family on how to access my wallets, just in case. You could do that as well. Yes, as long as it doesn't get hacked. Yeah, goes further. Let's go. No, I wouldn't, as I already have a trust will set up already and is tax-free. Yes, if it's all legit, Miles. It's okay. My daughter will have a prenup also. I'm joking. No, I would never. Putting all jokes aside, but I will never get married with anyone if I'm going to do a prenup. I'll never do a prenup because I'm going to make sure I choose the right person, right partner. So no prenup for me. But it's nope. I trust myself, my family more than a corporate body. Fair enough. Jason's point. Probably not yet. I'd have to wait for more regulations, etc., to see what else is on offer. Fair enough as well. What Shelly has said, what Shelly and Jason and JP said, and also what Happy Pisces said, all valid points. My daughter would never agree, but it's worth a try. Ghost Runner first dressed. She's a bit young for you anyway. Okay, putting all jokes aside now. The next news to talk about on tonight's live show. So I'm guessing nobody would. Some people on the verge, some people are not. Ian said if it's legit, he would go for it. Most people had concerns, and they were all valid reasons. Regarding what Shelley said was a valid reason. That more regulations need to be in place before she implements some sort of inheritance into those cryptocurrencies, which is a valid reason. Jason said, nope, I trust myself and my family more than a corporate. Fair enough, fair point. And also, JP stating that banks are not really where you should be trusting. If things go south in terms of missing and so on, it's not a good idea either. And Happy Pisces is saying, I could see regular banks offering this type of service as well as your categorized crypto. That's facts. Regarding what Happy Pisces said as well. It's absolutely facts. Banks will probably offer this service. Good on you, Miles. Miles, I'm teaching my wife and children all about blockchain technology and cold wallets and cryptocurrencies. Let's go. That's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Regarding Funky Brother doing that, teaching your family about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, incredible. Hold up. Miles isn't married this whole time. I thought Miles was married with kids. No, Miles is not married. Just a quick question, just a quick thing. Do you think I would be married and I would be doing this live show every single night at essentially, up until 2 a.m.? If I had a wife and kids, there was no possibility in me ever doing this live show. So, no. Also, with the work schedule I have, it's not possible at all. I'd have to think about it for a while. Fair enough, Troy. But yeah, no, with my work schedule and with me doing this live show every single night, pretty much until 2 a.m. every single night, and then the work schedule and the hours that I do, there's no way I can maintain any sort of relationship, unfortunately. That's for a later time. Now, Network International. Network International and Zand Bank partner to enhance fintech services in the EU, in the UAE. Network International Network, a leading enabler of digital commerce in the Middle East and Africa, has essentially entered into a strategic referral partnership with Zand Bank, the UAE's first digital bank. The UAE has just launched its first ever digital bank, which is quite of major news. This collaboration aims to strengthen and expand financial services for fintechs and startups across the region. The partnership will leverage Network's expertise in cards processing to support Zand Bank's goal of becoming a digital economic accelerator for fintechs. A key element of this collaboration is BIN, Bank Identification Number. Sponsorships which allows the bank to offer businesses and fintechs the ability to issue cards and access advanced digital financial services. This move is expected to provide emerging fintechs greater access to card schemes and tools needed to innovate the financial services sector. The UAE, recognized as the most active fintech hubs in the MENA region, accounted for 51% of the fintech investment deals in the first quarter of 2023. The UAE's government's strong support for fintech innovations and collaborations has created a thriving ecosystem for startups and financial technology companies. With increasing consumer interest in complex financial products, this partnership between Network and Zand is well positioned to meet the growing demand for comprehensive digital financial services. Michael Chen, the CEO of Zand Bank, highlighted the significance of this partnership, stating a collaboration with Network International marks a significant milestone in our journey to revolutionize the UAE. By leveraging Network's extensive expertise in card processing, we can provide fintechs and startups with the tools they need to innovate and grow. This collaboration aligns perfectly with our vision to catalyst for digital economic growth in the region, and we look forward to driving greater financial inclusion and accessibility through this strategic alliance. Native Dave, Managing Director of Co-Head and Processing Services for the Middle East and Network International, expressed enthusiasm about the partnership, saying, "We are excited to partner with Zand to transform the fintech's landscape in the UAE. As the largest payment processor and acquirer in the region, Network has built a long-standing relationship with many of the leading financial institutions, merchants, and payment networks. Our experience and capabilities allow us to be a partner of choice for governments, banks, fintechs, and merchants and public sector companies. We look forward to working with Zand to realize its objectives." Now, Soma, Managing Director of Processing for the UAE Network International, added, "We are delighted to support Zand in expanding its footprint in the UAE while empowering fintechs and startups networks expertise while enhancing the digital bank's capabilities in essentially delivering comprehensive financial services to its customers. This partnership between Network International and Zand Bank is set to play a pivotal role in advancing the fintech's ecosystem in the UAE, fostering innovation and driving the digital economy, which is incredible. It's the first bank inside of the UAE to be a complete digital bank. The first ever digital bank to be launching in the UAE. It's an incredible milestone. Now, this particular news I'm about to read out to you next is an interesting one. which is regarding the Federal Reserve rate cut. Now, the Federal Reserve rate cut is a topic that keeps on coming up inside the crypto space. It comes up a lot inside the crypto space. Are we going to have rate cuts? Are we not going to have rate cuts? How many rate cuts are we going to be having? How is it going to be impacting the crypto space? On what scale is it going to be impacting the crypto space? Is it going to be bad rate cuts? Is it going to be good rate cuts for crypto space and so on? So I'm about to give you a perspective. Not my perspective, but a perspective that I'm about to share on this news. Before we go through it, let's start the conversation first. Let's start the conversation first. I have to think about that for a while. Yes, I'm married with kids and I spend every night watching you. Yes, I'm married with kids and I spend every night watching you. Fuck you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in every night. Don't. I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, he's got one patient wife. Don't leave it too long, Miles. Yeah, no, I can't leave it for too long either. I even watch you every single night whilst on holiday. Let's go. Maybe CoinMove will offer it. Unfortunately, I think when CoinMove officially launches, I might be even more busy on the schedule. I'm still doing this live show even when the CoinMove is fully operational. But when you're trying to start your own, when you're trying to launch your own business, multiple businesses, I have failed record of businesses, which I'm proud to talk about them regarding startups I've had a very long time ago. I've had a list of unsuccessful startups, but I never give up. So it was always on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. You know, I'll go as far as I can until there's no other doors I can knock on, and then, you know, move on to the next venture. So being in that category of always wanting to be your own boss, always wanting to work on your own hours and so on, social life is pretty much non-existent. A very long time ago, I used to have a social life, but now it's just wake up, work, 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 live show, work, 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 sleep, wake up, work, 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 CMF live show, work, 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 sleep. It's pretty much what it is, the schedule. Until I get to where I want to be. And the moment when I get to where I want to be, that's when I can go for a social life. But no, I try to have a social life with friends of mine that I grew up with that are all in the banking world. And, you know, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. But we're all busy. We all live different lives. When we were younger, we were all everywhere at the same place and so on. But the moment we got older and older, it's just everybody has different lives. And we all see each other maybe once a month, maybe once a week on a rare occasion. But everybody has a very different life in my friend group now. And everybody's incredibly busy. Either they're essentially the banking world or stock exchange, London Stock Exchange and so on. All their lawyers, all their doctors. Maybe CoinMe will offer it. But yeah, the perks of trying to start your own business. You're gonna have a multitude of failed businesses behind you, and then you're gonna have one successful one after multiple attempts of trying to start your own businesses. But it's not about, it's just not about giving up. But I mean, social life aspect is pretty much down the toilet. There's no social life. And the same regarding relationships, it comes later. Actually, I'm not even joking, as my whole family knows Miles now. Let's go, funky brother. They are sick of him. He's Greg. My wife hates him. So do you do this crypto class daily? Please, daily time you start. Yeah, I do this crypto class daily. So 7:25, 7:30 p.m. UK time. You can tune into this every single day. I'm kidding. But no, you can't. Ironically, Toby's question was, then the second question below it was, I'm kidding. So Toby, I'm not kidding. So the live show is, so you asked the question of, is it daily? Yes, it's daily. So I do this daily, 11:25 p.m. Sleep is nice also causes this. 11:25 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. You tune in. You can tune into this live show on YouTube or on X every single night. I'm kidding. Is what Funky Butters question was under it. Bobby, let's go. Shelly, my family thought he has a runoff with people's money. So much is learned from each failure. Facts. I'm with you in that one. Let's go, JP. But yeah, no, I'm happy about the failure, the failing projects that I left behind me. I'm very happy because I learned a lot from all of them on what not to do ever again. So when I do get the right business, I know exactly what to do. And there's still room to grow and still room to learn. You know, that never stops. But at least I won't repeat the same mistakes ever again. I'm with you, Miles, all the way. Let's go, Mike. Rate cards are going to be all BS anyways. My sister thinks... Okay, moving on from the personal subjects, to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve rate will do more for crypto than Wall Street. Big subject, the Federal Reserve. And on JP is saying rate cuts are going to be all BS anyways. They're 0.25%. But here's the thing, consider multiple outcomes, is what I've always said. Consider multiple outcomes. So, because then you never get surprised on what happens inside the market space. You can consider, thousands of outcomes, but it's about drawing into 3 or 4 outcomes that can possibly play out. The Federal Reserve's rate cut will do more for crypto than Wall Street. One outcome. The Federal Reserve is on the verge of cutting interest rates, following the European Central Bank's ECB, the Bank of England, and the People's Bank of China. But what if the rate cuts could mean more, a lot more, for crypto than for all the suits on Wall Street? Traditional markets and DeFi markets might react in very different ways. We know there's a 76% chance that the Fed will cut interest rates by 0.25%. This month, for example, by the end of 2024, we might see 3 cuts of 24 basis points. However, JP Morgan is already waving the red flags. They said even if the Fed cut rates, the stock market party is over. The S&P 500 has taken beatings in September over the last 5 years, dropping on average by 4.2%. Investors on the edge, waiting for the latest economic data, like job numbers, to figure out what's next. The big guys are worried that rate cuts are just essentially a reaction to slowing growth, not a signal for market gains. Even with the recent rally, the S&P 500 jumping 25% in the past year, this could be just a fluke. It's the biggest pre-rate cut rally in 70 years. Still, don't pop the champagne just yet. These gains might not stick around. Some companies have enjoyed better earnings because of their higher benchmark rates, making money off the bonds, but if the rates drop, that income might drop as fast. Crypto's wildcard moment. So a lot of people are presuming that these rate cuts that we're going to be having are going to be terrible for the crypto space. But you have to consider multiple outcomes. And this is one outcome, not the outcome, but it's an outcome to consider. Because now let's talk crypto. When borrowing gets cheaper, people start looking for higher returns. And that's where crypto comes in. History shows that crypto tends to do well when the Feds cut the rates. We saw it during the bull runs of 2013 and 2014, and 2016 and 2017. And this time could be no different. The crypto market reacts more sharply to global economic changes and central bank decisions than digital assets and stocks do. A rate cut makes crypto more appealing to institutional investors who are tired of low yields and weakened dollars. But also, crypto is a miniature compared to Wall Street and way more volatile. The long-term effects of these rate cuts will depend on things like regulations, continuous adoption, and the general health of the ecosystem. Speaking to us, Intonity Lirs, the founder of Paybase, points out that September usually sucks for Bitcoin. Data shows it usually drops on average of 6.56%. And so far, it's not looking good. Bitcoin's been bouncing around between $49,000 and $66,000, with an average around $58,000 this past week. The Fed's rate cuts news hasn't helped much either. But Iser thinks the cuts could push Bitcoin to finally break its bad September streak. Rate cuts generally lead to excessive US dollar flow in the economy. He says this reduced the dollar's purchasing power, further strengthening the outlook of Bitcoin as a store of value. Meanwhile, crypto veteran Arthur Hayes isn't so sure. He's got a different take on things. He said, "My theory on why Fed rate cuts are going to essentially aren't going to go to plan," he says, "since Jerome Powell hinted at a rate cut in the Jackson Hole, Bitcoin's down 10%. Why? I thought rate cuts were good for risk assessment," he said. His point, the Reserve Repo Program, RRP, is paying 5.3%, and no treasury bill under the year beats that. The MMFs will move money from T-bills to RRP, which is dollar liquidity negative, he explains. Basically, since Jackson Hole, the RRP is up by $120 billion. This will continue as long as the T-bills rates are below RRP, Arthur Hayes says. So, based on what he was essentially discussed as an outcome, rate cuts, good or bad for the crypto space? Look, I'll be honest, the way the markets are moving and the way everything is moving, if we go more into regulations, which we are doing already, if we have more adoption, more regulations along the way, and we go into rate cuts, then crypto assets will be seen as a potential asset to jump into after rate cuts. Not straight after. We could be having a decline. So we could go into rate cuts, a little bit of up and then down. And then we'll do a U-turn and go back up, is what was really essentially the actual up, which is one outcome. The other outcome is it just steadily goes up or steadily goes down. But consider multiple outcomes, because everybody, when it comes to the crypto space, and when it comes to any sort of market space, but especially the crypto space, people always just presume the market is going to go only this way, only this way, only this way. It's not really the sense whatsoever. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this. There was a time period inside the crypto space where everybody was telling everyone that Bitcoin is going to go to, and everybody can remember this as well, everybody was making videos, all these influencers were making videos and telling people that crypto was going to go down to that Bitcoin is going to go down to $10,000, to $5,000, to $20,000, to $15,000. Anybody remember those videos that all of these crypto influencers were making? And they were so confident and arrogant in their decisions. And they would dictate essentially anybody else that said otherwise, and said everybody else is a moron if they think Bitcoin is not going to go down to 10,000 or 20,000. Well, I was that person saying to those morons that you're not considering one major factor, which is it's a complete different ballgame. Because you have to look at what's in play now. We have more institutions than ever before inside the crypto space, and institutions tend to buy and hold. So when all these people, these crypto influencers, are shouting and screaming and creating videos and saying Bitcoin is going down to 20,000, to 25,000, to 15,000, I was saying no, it's not. And also, if you're new to this live show, I always say I have the last laugh. There's a little laugh there, but I always have the last laugh if you're new to this live show. But I was saying no, it isn't, because they're not considering one main factor, which is institutions tend to hold. They will buy a crypto asset like Bitcoin and hold it for 5 years. Institutions aren't interested in instant price actions. They're interested about projection of a 5-year period, 10-year period, 15-year period, and so on before they end up selling. They're not going to buy something and drop it the next day unless it's based on some sort of major bad news of a company's asset or so on. So ball game is completely different. So just Always consider, what I am trying to say is multiple outcomes. If you try to consider one outcome, you're going to be essentially left behind from what could possibly happen. Because those crypto influencers were expecting $20,000 Bitcoins and $10,000 Bitcoins. Did that happen? No. What happened instead? Bitcoin did new heights. What happened now? Bitcoin is balancing itself. So what are those $10,000 price tags that we're expecting? Never came around. You know why it never came around? Look at who's holding Bitcoin in large amounts of volume and isn't dropping any. And if they do drop, it's about a few million. But you know how much they're buying in return? About 100 million. So that's why it's balancing itself right now. So we are in a different ball game, which people tend to still keep on forgetting. We're in a different ball game. We have more institutions than ever before inside the crypto space. We have Bitcoin ETFs around the world. We have Ethereum ETFs around the world. We also have more regulations in place and more banks in place. There's so much happening inside the crypto space that you should be really asking yourself the question of, consider multiple outcomes, is what I just said. Just consider multiple outcomes. I know people are making videos and saying, you know, essentially the same crypto influencers that are expecting $10,000 Bitcoins and $20,000 Bitcoins, which never happened, are right now creating videos and saying rate cuts are bad, they're bad for the crypto space. And I'm saying, consider multiple outcomes. The same thing I said back then, but also back then I said it's never going to go to 20,000. And then again, if you are new, I always have the last laugh. It comes with years and years of, well, knowledge and experience from the corporate sector, which helps me a lot. Because I'm not just, you know, somebody that comes on the internet and just reads people the news and gives some random opinions. No. What I do share is the value that I provide is essentially, well, what I know, which is I know how corporates operate. I'm not saying I know exactly 1,000,000,000% how every corporate in the world operates, but I know up to a certain extent, and I well as hell know more than the crypto influencer of how the corporate space operates. That's why my prediction was correct, and theirs wasn't. But, and I was the only one. Everybody else thought we're going to see 20,000 Bitcoins. But consider multiple outcomes is what I'm trying to say. So rate cuts could also be good. Consider multiple outcomes. Don't just be, the market can only go this way. No, it could go 1,000 ways. But bring it down to 4 outcomes, 3 outcomes it can possibly go to. Let's consider the comment section first. Let's see where we were. It's just that I talk about you a lot. Miles is amazing, genuine, kind, and trustworthy. He's always gives his honest opinion and advise us truthfully. Thank you so much, Ghostman, for the kind words. Also very thankful for God for giving the knowledge as well, genuinely. Kamala Harris has just said U.S. steel will always be an American owned. That's good. Stop this cheesy chat. Funky, let's stop giving him a big head. It won't fit through the door soon. Shelly Mouse loves the attention. He secretly loves the attention. Mouse, good night. I have a very early start tomorrow morning. Good night, my CMF family. Funky brother, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Can I ask a question? Can I ask a CMF a question? Yes. JP, go for it. What's your question to the CMF? Go ahead, JP, is what Ghostman said. Yes, I remember all of that last year, and you still have a few stragglers and that are saying that. CMF, do you think Mouse will ever get off this? No. Okay, we've also reached the endings of tonight's live show, everyone. So if you have enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Same timing as usual. Yes, JP, I don't think Miles would give you a pass into the live. So this was the CMF live show. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. On this live show, you can tune in every single night. I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. And a disclaimer of this live show, as always, has been not financial advice, no political advice, and what advice is only for entertainment purposes. So if you enjoyed this live show and you're watching for the first time, drop a follow, subscribe. If you watch us on YouTube, drop a follow. If you watch us on X, and tune into it every single night, 8:25 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. UK time. Tune into this live show. Yes, JP, take care, Miles of CMF. Ray, see you tomorrow about the same time as usual. See you tomorrow. Pablo, see you tomorrow same time as usual. Great to have Miles as usual. Good night, Miles of CMF. Jason, see you tomorrow same time as usual. I will see everybody same time as usual. Good night, Miles and CMF. Great live money. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, brother. Same time as usual. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. Good night, Miles and CMF. Free and forever. See you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Good night, Miles and family. Great night. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Jason, see you tomorrow. Mike, see you tomorrow. Free and forever. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Take good care. Kim, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Good night, Miles of CMF. Stormy, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Susie, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Good night, Miles. I'll see you all tomorrow. Troy, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Good night, Miles of CMF. Miles, get some rest. Let's go. Ghost Runner, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Miles over here trying hard not to have. Shelly, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Get some sleep, Miles. I'll try. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. I can't wait to hear all the jokes being said. We'll meet. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual.